Hello, Gary Champion, Psychic Medium, with a few things. I pick up stuff and write them down, and amazingly can't read a single one of them the next day. So I've been trying to go back through them, and I did a video not too long ago about China controlling Russia, and I got some emails. People said, "No, that's exactly what's going on. China has designs on Russia, and Russia's done some stupid things that's left it vulnerable. Number one, attacking Ukraine. That that's not making Russia stronger. They've lost hundreds of thousands of men and equipment. They can't even protect themselves now. They have no way of protecting themselves. So China says, "Oh, we'll sell you some armaments so you can keep attacking those mean Ukrainians." Of course, at what cost? They got to pay for it. They got to. So instead of that, they're getting favors and control. So China's. And I got emails in. Why would they want to do that? They don't want Russia. They want to control Russia. It's like the puppet. They're showing me a puppet. You got the little, and Putin is allowing it for what reason? I don't know. He's got to be mental. But he drove this mess, and when it collapses, the ruble's worth nothing. He's got like billions of dollars of sales to India, uh, oil, but they're only going to pay him in rupees or whatever the Indian currency is, and that doesn't translate to rubles, so they can't take it. They've sold it, they've done it, but the money's no good to them because it's in rupees. How dumb can you get? And it still goes on. And part of that is that they want to antagonize us by thinking they're getting away with something. It's a jab at us, but they're losing money every time they do it. They have to shut down their entire oil production thing because no one's buying it. They're just storing it. So they really give it to India to um, see there we can do what we want to do. That's basically what it is. But Putin's driven this mess into a brick wall. There's no way to escape except his downfall. I don't believe Russia will recover from this because now that China is doing them favors and their little tentacles are beginning to control actually what's going on in Russia. Pretty soon it'll control the media, and Russia thinks they're getting a deal, but they're not getting a deal. What it gets is China controlling Russia. How they control Russia? Money. It's like the drug dealer. He gives you some drug and say, "Oh, pay for him later," and then you come around for some more, and he gives you some more, and say, "We'll pay for it later." Pretty soon, forever's here, or later is here. They can't afford to pay for any of it. They're in debt up to their eyeballs to everybody. But the Indian thing is an amazing sort of little thing where they just keep selling them oil, and India keeps buying it and producing gasoline with it. And the money's there, but Russia can't collect it. There's no way of transferring it, or there's the ruble doesn't translate to anything really. If you got rubles, you got something you can spend in Russia. It's not good outside of Russia, except maybe Ukraine would take some of it. But of course, that's not going to happen. So as I said months ago, China is controlling Russia. They're going to, that's their goal. They don't have to get in a shooting war with them. They just begin to buy stuff up. And China's doom is not that far away. Isn't that interesting? China is buying Russia, but it's in default on a lot of things that no one knows about. But it's they're cutting themselves, digging a hole too. So you've got two countries that are heading toward bankruptcy. Russia's already there. China will be there later if they continue to follow this line of spending money in Russia. Anyway, it's all about control. China's never going to rule the world. They're not. They're not going to ever make it. But that's their desire. People at the top, they're tired of being second or third best, and they never were that good. Their planes don't fly. They're like Russia. Their ships catch fire and sink. Their planes sort of fly, but anyway, enough of that. Um, More sightings of U.S. UFOs. Yeah, that's been going on since time began. They were flying around the pyramids at one time in history. And a strange thing is, they're just visiting mostly, but as I was getting that today, someone said, "Earth dirt is highly prized." That's a strange thing to say. The dirt that we have here on Earth is highly prized for some reason. They didn't explain it. So I don't know if they're analyzing it or scooping it up or where they'd like to take it, but um, except for small samples, I don't think they've done any more than that. But there's something about Earth dirt that fascinates them. They actually call it Earth dirt. um, Interest rates are going to begin to fall as they should. Um, Interest rates will come down. Houses will be affordable again. Um, if they haven't ruined it, people will buy homes again. The world will continue. The thing about these democracies, as we are, is that we're not democracies. We let the real estate people run the country and banks. They buy and sell stuff they shouldn't be dealing with, and they get into all these bankruptcies. And pretty soon the banks should be out of business, but they're not. They're propped up by the government because they can't let 80 million people lose everything. So but it's just money. It's what's causing it. Anyway, things will get better. Um, it's interesting to me that we have so many apartments here in Texas. I mean, millions of apartments everywhere. They're building them everywhere. Probably thinking that these people and evictions are way up here in Texas. They're kicking people out every chance because they got those 2 or 3 years moratorium because of COVID, but that's gone. They didn't leave and they're still not paying. So they're evicting them at high rates. And they'll move back into the apartments, and the people that can buy houses will move over and buy the houses, and things will go on as they should. I'm not saying these people shouldn't own those houses, but they can have them because they can't afford to pay them. And we have squatters. Same thing in every state because the house is empty. No one seems to care. We'll just move right in. And then they trash the place. Anyway, that's going to kind of undo itself. They're saying that's coming undone. A backlog of activity. People wanting to buy houses. People not affording the houses need to be getting an apartment. Now they don't want to get in apartments because they've had 3 years of living in somebody else's place or living for not paying anything. A lot of people just stop paying. And there's such a backlog in the courts, some of them will never see court. Anyway, it's a mess. It'll undo itself as it always does. It's not the greedy landlords. No, they need to get paid because they have all this property and they built the property to rent to these people. You can't undo nature. Um, can't talk about that. Anyway, things are getting better. And as I said, probably a year ago, and I haven't re-listened to the video, but I remember saying it clearly that be a lot of politicians now they're going to be fighting each other and cutting each other and prosecuting each other. And I did a video about it, and sure enough, that's just all that's been happening the last 6 months. Everybody's prosecuting everybody without any proof, I might say, because so far it hasn't taken much but an allegation to get somebody into court, and they're not paying any money. And when they reverse that and begin charging people for filing frivolous lawsuits, and that has happened lately, a lot of big profile people are now going to have to pay those. They don't want to pay the lawyer's fees. They want the other guy to pay it, but they brought the suit. So it's going to be incumbent upon them to pay their lawyers and all the fees incurred because they knew they couldn't win in the first place. They just hoping they'd get out of it. And they dragged it out for 2 or 3 years. And now the piper's coming around. You have to pay. And I did see the non-human being stuff removed from crashes. That's not the case. And I saw some guy the other night on television or on something. He was talking about it, but he didn't have any proof. I saw it. I was there, but I don't have any proof. He's just looking for airtime, and he's going to write a book. All this is about making outrageous claims which they can't support. There's absolutely no proof of it, and then write a book which will sell millions of copies to all the people who love conspiracies. This is conspiracy stuff. So it's a weird world where you can just make a claim. Yeah, they got all these bodies, man, and feet and fingers, and they're laid out on tables, and yeah, I saw it. I was there. Yeah, where's the DNA? You got some of that DNA handy? We'll test it. Oh no, don't have any of that. Pictures? No, no, no. Got any written documentation? No, 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 no. I saw it. So don't get all jumped up into that. As many, here's the interesting thing, is meteorites have hit this world since the beginning of time. And meteorites contain DNA material from other worlds. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't find some DNA someplace. Somehow it gets stuck in a rock and survives the trip, clunks into the earth, and just sits there. Somebody comes along and digs it up. Look at this. This is proof aliens were here. Well, you don't know when that DNA got there, when that little particle of something got there. It could have been a billion years ago. So, yeah, I believe there's alien DNA here. No one's chopping open rocks to do expensive tests to find out, but there's some unusual stuff there. They're not laid out on some table at NASA. And if you look at this guy, if you find this guy, he's got crazy eyes. That's the ones you want. If you pass this guy on the street, you'd run the other way because he's got crazy eyes. Yeah, I saw it. I was there. It's kind of like a cartoon. Anyway, life is good. Oh, and there's one more thing. People have got this wrong about Meghan and Harry. They left the United States. They left England and came here. But Harry was right. He's protecting his family. That's why they came here. And now that they're here, they feel safe to take pot shots back at the old country. So they're suing the newspapers for tapping into his phone line and all that. He wouldn't be safe doing that in England. So, but he can sure lob grenades from here and take them to court and win money. English, we think our newspapers are bad. Our news is bad here, but I mean, that's how, of course, Harry's mother got killed. Paparazzi, that's a fancy word for ghouly little people that chase people in the dark instead of leaving them alone. And really, the king, this king there, he's at fault. Sorry, king old boy. If you hadn't screwed around on his mother with that ugly woman you're married to, she would have been home that night instead of out in a car with people she didn't know that well. She should have been protected 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even though she's no longer a royal. She should have had heavy protection. And she didn't. Someone's saying they saw to that she was out there. So, and don't think that Harry's going to ever forget that his daddy had something to do with his mother's death, because he did. He was directly involved in it. He didn't say, go out and kill this Diana, but he made it possible. He made it possible. And that's why they're not getting along. Not because he doesn't like the kind of tie he wears or the woman he married. It's all about that. He created that problem. He had this woman on the side that he shouldn't have had, and embarrassingly. So they had a divorce. And if he hadn't done that, then she would have been at home in front of the fireplace reading stories to her children, and she got killed. She wasn't there. She was out doing something else without protection. So just my view from the United States here. Ooh, I must have said something really good. There was a huge, ooh, words around me a lot. I don't know what it is, but I'm thankful because when they go by, I get a little burst of energy. They make you feel good. If you've ever noticed that. And I believe if you just turn your camera on your computer like I have, I just have the camera on, and with nothing special, no lighting or anything, that you'll see some there too. Isn't that interesting? But there's a positive feel to them. There's nothing negative to them. And if you're sensitive, you can feel it. You can feel it zip by you. You can feel it's just like a burning kind of an energy swirl thing. I don't know what it is with energy when it comes from the other side. It swirls a lot. And if you're a healer, God, I got to get into healing. I can't leave that alone. That if you begin healing, swirling is good. When you can swirl energy into someone's affected area, it seems to work a little better. Now, how you do that's up to you. I figured out a way to do it, but swirling energy seems to have a more positive effect, longer lasting. Anyway, it's a crazy video. Guess that's enough time. I haven't done enough of these. I don't know why. I just dropped off the earth there for a while doing other things. I'm not sure what. Writing. Doing a lot of writing. Some readings. Anyway, I hope you like these because they're fun to make. I just don't often have anything to say. When I do, I sort of make notes and then do a video. That's the best I can do. I wish I could say next week I'll have one on Wednesday. It doesn't come like that. It has to come. Someone has to say something from the other side, and then I write it down. Then I have to get Bunny. If you don't know Bunny, my wife, she has to come read it and tell me what I actually wrote. My writing's pretty bad. It's bad my whole life, but now it's getting real shaky. You know, like, why didn't I just slow down? I don't know. That's a good story for the rest of the world. Why don't you just slow down? Let things evolve as they should. My handwriting would be better. My videos would be better. So y'all have a good evening out there. Love each other as much as you can. Smile a lot. Smile a lot. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.